I can't believe the Virgil Vlog is gonna collab with Markiplier.
Yeah. I called him yesterday and he was like, bro, you gotta have me on. And I was like, okay. What do you want to do? And he said he's been watching our fanfictions.
Watching?
Yes, he stares intently at the thumbnail on the YouTube screen.
It is a YouTube video.
He's been watching.
I mean, the guy puts in a lot of YouTube time.
It's true.
Instead of
It's a podcast.
Instead of multitasking all the things he could do, he watches the YouTube video.
He just stares at
He has a blank expression with his mouth open, watching the thumbnail. Yeah.
You should make the thumbnail into like one of those like find it things where it's like a ton of stuff all hidden in there.
Yeah, George, just Photoshop 300 images into the thumbnail real quick.
And then do like filter, blur, or like every artistic filter in Photoshop all on top of each other.
And if you squint your eyes, it looks just like Markiplier.
That's why he's watching.
He
heard
like
he's
that.
in the video.
It's like that Dali painting where when you look at it up close, it's like a big like mural of a bunch of different stuff, and then you look back, it's like Abraham Lincoln or whatever.
It's Markiplier screaming at horror games.
Yeah, with his pink mustache.
That's Wilfred Warstash. That's someone else.
Oh,
No,
Markiplier,
Markiplier has a pink mustache photoshopped into all of his thumbnails.
That's what he wants you to think.
Yeah, by doing it.
Wilfred Warstash is a character of Markiplier.
I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I was just talking about the pink mustache that I see in the thumbnails.
We all know you're a Jacksepticeye fan.
I mean, it is what it is.
It's one or the other in this house, I see.
No crank gameplay allowed.
What do you gotta... We talked about crank gameplay in the last episode. Stop bashing crank gameplay.
Sorry, he keeps messaging me on Skype and asking to be on the podcast, and I keep having to tell him no.
He keeps messaging you on Skype, but no one uses Skype anymore, so you don't get any of the messages. But they're there.
He knows.
He knows you're not paying attention to him, but he keeps sending messages.
Yes. Here's your pizza.
Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
When are we gonna get brand merch?
Good question.
When are we gonna get cool Crossing the Line tank tops?
You want to give Redbubble 75% of your income?
No.
Let's make Crossing the Line coasters.
Ooh.
Initial investments on clothing lines are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really not worth it. I mean, I was buying clothing lines in bulk for, not like huge bulk, but a decent amount for a coffee shop, and it was like, even like once you bought hundreds of them, it was like $12, $13 a t-shirt that you sell for $20. It's like not a great margin.
Nah.
I wonder what these Let's Play guys sell, like, these Let's Play guys, these YouTubers, these content creators, they must sell hundreds of them at least.
Markiplier has his own clothing brand.
I just mean like,
Yeah, it's Markiplier and Jacksepticeye's clothing brand.
Oh, it's both
Cloak.
of theirs? Cloak.
Yeah, they work on it together.
I didn't know it was a dual thing.
still, you gotta sell a lot of that stuff to make money back, and a lot of those guys, their main income is their merchandise, so I wonder what they're doing.
They just released a Minecraft set.
The more I hear about this brand, the less I like it.
There was a collab with Mojang.
Yeah. This hot new game I hear about called Minecraft.
They just released Minecraft Dungeons today,
They
I don't know what it is,
Minecraft today.
but they released it.
I prefer to stick on my vanilla Minecraft beta server from 2011. I will not take any upgrades.
What's your favorite Minecraft block?
The green tree block, because it's kind of see-through and looks bad. Have they fixed that yet? Does it still look kind of see-through?
I don't even know what green tree block you're talking about.
The like tree leaves.
Oh.
A normal tree has like the kind of see-through.
Yeah, but that's the point. They're leaves.
Okay. So they didn't fix it, is what you're telling me?
Steven.
They've had 9 years.
Let's see, gold.
Gold.
Yeah, gold.
Have you ever played
The gold
Minecraft?
one.
I have.
What'd you think?
It's fine. It's a sandbox game.
Did you make any sick-ass castle?
I made like random forts here and there, but I didn't put enough time into it to just make a friggin' giant thing.
Did you go into creative mode and make a big pixel mosaic of one of your art pieces?
No, I didn't learn about any of that until like after I stopped playing.
That's
Even-
rough.
I mean, even then it was like, okay, cool. You made
Minecraft is
pixel
like
art.
Minecraft is like $30 now.
Oh god.
That's crazy. I've been trying to go to some of those Minecraft concerts, and I ended up just live streaming them because, like, I don't want to spend $30 on Minecraft.
Right.
I've played it enough. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You could go to the free Fortnite concert.
A free Fortnite concert. That's true.
I forget the man that had the Fortnite
Travis
concert.
Scott?
Travis Scott. He was very big.
No, but the Minecraft ones are like live. They're not like pre-recorded things.
That's crazy.
They're like actual artists will go and perform and play music.
I heard a bunch of Japanese kids had a graduation in Minecraft.
Wow.
People have had graduations in Animal Crossing too.
Wow.
That's funny. I can't believe our school allowed that.
It's probably not a school mandated thing.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Welcome to Quarantine the Line, where we read, review, and critique fan fiction for your listening pleasure.
Yes, today's episode is Spider-Man Part 2. We will not be continuing our previous stories as far as I know, but they will be more Spider-Man stories.
We love Spider-Man.
Indeed.
Yes, especially the Sam Raimi movies, but I think we've all seen all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen... Well, I can't say I've seen all the Spider-Man movies anymore because I haven't seen the latest one, but I used to say I could. I've seen them all in theaters up until the new one, but... Or I guess it's not new anymore. What's it called?
Far From Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I don't know why. Because I really liked Homecoming, but I just didn't bother to go see it when it was in theaters.
It's because it followed up Infinity War and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
You were concerned about the lore.
That's right. Thanks for reminding me.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, but don't I need to know stuff from that movie to understand why he's here? Because didn't he get snapped or whatever?
That's irrelevant
Yeah.
to the movie.
Well, I'm sure, but I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Mm.
Yeah, you did need to know that stuff to see the movie.
Okay, thank you.
So it
I'm
was
not paying for
justified to
Disney
not go.
Plus.
Yeah, but I think they have Endgame on Disney Plus.
Mm.
So if you ever want to watch anything on Disney Plus, you can use ours.
Wow, thank you very much.
There we go.
I saw Into the Spider-Verse in theaters before it came out. That was pretty cool.
Mm.
Before it came out.
There was since Sony made it,
Mhm.
they had a contest thing or something like that. You could enter it for PS4,
Oh,
and my friend Cam entered it and won and got 2 free tickets for like 2 weeks before the movie came out.
that's really cool.
We had a big talking to from a police officer that said piracy is bad and we will kill you if you pirate this movie. But then we watched it and we liked it so much we watched it again when it was out officially.
We watched it and we liked it so much we pirated it.
Like I've never seen a movie in theaters more than once until that movie. It's just so good. Go watch Into the Spider-Verse. It's a very good movie.
When I was a kid, my parents would make us all go do things together because you're kind of forced to do whatever your parents make you do. And my sister made us see Night at the Museum 4 times. And I have the tickets, or I had the tickets for a long time. I think I threw them away.
The
But,
first one?
Yes, the first one.
Mm.
Though I also saw the other ones in theaters.
The first one's okay. I don't think the second one's very good, but I remember seeing the third one in theaters and thought, I don't know if it's good or not, but I was surprised that I didn't hate it. I
Yeah.
thought the third one was enjoyable enough, but I don't think I liked the second one very much.
I like them all alright. I really don't like watching movies, reading books, that sort of thing more than once usually. I just prefer to do that kind of thing. Like, even like music albums, I listen to like once or twice, unless I really like them. So seeing a movie a lot of times in a row, I hate, and maybe it was because of all that stuff as a kid. One time, my parents and us drove. They had like those little TVs you could hook up to the back of your car seats, because for a brief period of time, my parents were wealthy, and we had TVs in the back of our 2 TVs in the back of each seat. Oh, you know, divorce. That kind of thing. Anyways, we went on this like 8-hour road trip, and we just watched Ratatouille 8 times in a row.
Oh my god.
And I pretty much hate Ratatouille now.
That's not true.
I would watch it again now, I don't.
Yeah, I remember like the first day you got Disney Plus, Dakota was sitting there with his head tilted towards the TV watching Ratatouille.
I think like I kind of got over the bell curve of hate for that, and I have more of an appreciation for it now because like I appreciate art more now as an adult.
Yeah, no, like I remember when the Cartoon Network used to have those like 24-hour Iron Giant marathons, and it made me hate that movie.
Exactly.
Because it was all that they would play for a whole day and a half. I was so sick of Iron Giant. I'm sure now if I watch it, I'd love it and think it's a very cool artistic movie, but just the way they just throw it at you just makes you sick of it and hate the Iron Giant for everything he stands for.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, I once was grounded for an entire summer for shoplifting, and I watched Wayne's World on VHS over and over again for the whole summer because I didn't have anything else to do.
What did you shoplift?
Some candy. I was a child. But I didn't have anything in my... That was after my parents broke up, so I have like a TV with a VHS player, and I just watched the like couple VHSs I could afford from the dollar store, or from the... no, from the Goodwill or whatever. And I got like...
You can't say that, that'll dox us.
Oh yeah. Well, I got like Akira, Wayne's World, and maybe like Jumanji, but or no, I got the season 2 of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or maybe it was season 1, whatever. Anyways, I watched Wayne's World a million times and I love it a lot. I didn't hate it anymore.
Steven, tell us about Mean Girls.
Mean Girls, oh god, back when I was like 10 or something, I friggin' had my tonsils taken out and I had that entire period. I stayed inside, and because I didn't have cable or anything, I too just had my TV and a VHS player and a whole thing full of VHSs. But for some fucking reason, I got addicted to watching the movie Mean Girls on VHS, and I watched that over and over again until my friggin' tonsils healed.
I love that movie.
Mean Girls healed your tonsils.
You said, "Oh, they're so mean," and your gums grew back.
Make sure you watch Make sure you watch Rhythm Pete's TED Talk on Mean Girls before it gets deleted.
Very true.
One of you needs to start archiving Rhythm Pete before he goes away forever.
Paying for my 2 terabyte hard drive Rhythm Pete backlog videos.
For those at home, Rhythm Pete is a phenomenal YouTuber who just has talk videos on his YouTube page, and he just talks about stuff about like teenagers, like Zoe 101 and Henry Danger. He really likes the Cleveland Show. He just uploaded yesterday, actually. We saw one. It was like, why did Joey fail but Cleveland Show succeed? But he only talked about Cleveland Show for like a half of a minute at the end and got cut off when he said, "I love the Cleveland Show because Rilo," and then the video just ended.
How do you spell rhythm?
RYTHEM.
Right.
That's not right.
That's
Oh,
how
it's
he
right.
spells it.
That's how he spells
That's how
it.
Rhythm Pete spells it.
There he is. He's got 64 subscribers. Probably more than me.
Yeah, but see, he's down to only 4 videos now. He deleted his Zoe 101, which was 26 minutes of him saying, "Zoe 101 was a pretty good show."
Oh no, a new Virgil Vlog TV has appeared.
Wow.
1,000 subscribers.
Oh.
You need to...
I've only got 44. I've got half of Rhythm Pete.
Rhythm Pete's better than you. And all he does is lay in bed. Maybe you should start laying in bed.
I need to start harassing everybody individually in my comment section like he does.
Please comment.
Anyways.
He's Spider-Man. Who's your favorite Spider-Man villain? Steven, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Elias, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mysterio.
Pretty good.
I like the Mysterio boss fight in Spider-Man 2 where you have to swing from the little orbs to get to the Empire State Building.
Mysterio's so funny in that game.
A close second for me is the 1,000, though. 1,000 are pretty cool. The 1,000, for those of you at home who don't know, it's the 1,000 is... So, Peter Parker was bullied, as we all know, when he was freaking younger before he got his powers. The 1,000 is one of the bullies that used to freaking pick on Parker, but he bore witness to Peter getting bitten by the spider, and he put 2 and 2 together when Spider-Man appeared shortly afterwards. And so he knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and he knew how he got his powers. So one day the 1,000 essentially went back and found that same spider and tried to make it bite him, but it was like friggin' dying. It was in no condition to actually land a bite on him, so he fucking ate the spider whole.
Whoa.
And nothing happened, but the next day he woke up and he opened his mouth and there was a giant fucking spider in the back of his throat.
Oh no.
Whoa.
And what had happened was eating the spider made his innards break down into a massive group of spiders.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's one of the creepiest fucking villains, because what he does is he can just make his swarm exit any skin suit, eat someone alive, and wear their skin and be that person.
Whoa.
So you never know where he's at, and it's fucking disgusting.
It's cool.
And as long as one spider in that mass survives, he can always just fucking come back to life.
Whoa.
Now, he was the villain of like a 2-issue miniseries, and every spider gets killed, so like the 1,000 is technically dead now. But like that's such a creepy ass concept that I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back at some point.
That's impressive. That'd be hard to kill.
That's why we've got the Spiders Man.
Spiders, man.
It's from the Spider-Geddon series, where it's from one of the parallel universes, where it's a large group of spiders that all think they're Peter Parker.
Oh my
They all
God.
collectively think they're Peter Parker, so it's just like a Spider-Man costume with little spiders just keep falling off of it.
Oh god.
I guess we don't need to talk about our experience. We did that in the first episode. That's a fine question. Go watch the first episode of Spider-Man. Fanfiction.
Yeah, when we do these part 2s, they don't have really anything to do with the past ones. It's just the best way we can think to name them. But yeah, they don't have any continuity or anything. None of our episodes have continuity, so you can watch any episode you feel like.
Except for episode 50,
Yes.
True.
which is our most listened to episode for some reason.
It's because it's got panty and stocking without clothes on in the thumbnail.
You should really be listening to the holiday ones where we write our own fan fictions. Those are the best.
It's true. We're comedic geniuses.
It's almost July 4th again.
Hell yeah.
You're really excited for that.
Yeah, I am.
You love America. What's your favorite thing about America? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The abundance of gas stations and the gas station snack culture.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's like a million gas stations in America, and they all have the same snacks and like regional differences.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Texas, those ones are pretty funny. If you ever get a chance to visit a giant Texas gas station, it's quite a trip.
Are you going to do a Texas vlog when you go to Texas?
I could. I'll be sitting around a lot. So
Everything's bigger than Texas vlog.
I could go to Rhythm Pete mode and lay in my bed and record.
The big hotel bed.
Lay in your car.
Yeah,
Everything-
Texas was a pretty good state.
I got a funny big Texas story. I visited my grandpa, and I stayed the night there. I fell asleep on the couch, I think. Anyways, I woke up, and he was up at 5 a.m. making coffee, and he microwaved the coffee mug so it was super hot, and then poured blazing hot coffee in it, and then poured a bunch of flavored creamer in that, and it was a 32-ounce mug. So it was this giant blazing hot beer stein of coffee, and I couldn't even touch it because the cup was so hot, even the handle for some reason. And I finally got cooled down enough to drink it 30 minutes later. It was just the sweetest, most milky thing ever. It was alright, but I couldn't drink 32 ounces of that. Anyways, my grandpa at his ripe old age of, I don't know, very old, he drank the whole thing in 1 minute. It was impressive.
Old people love burning their lips off.
Old people love hot coffee. That's true.
Part of the waking up is just the hotness of it. It's not even the thing they're drinking. It's just the fact that it's something warm, something blistering hot.
Yeah.
I had an espresso Monster Energy today, but it didn't do anything for me. We'll
Yeah.
see how I fare when I try to sleep. Anyway, you want to read a fanfic?
I want to go second because, actually, I want you to go first because I'm pretty sure I know which one you're going to do. And I don't want to take it away from you. But I want to do it if you don't, just in case.
Okay, I'll go first. I got it. It's right here. It's right here in the Fanfiction app. Get it for free on the App Store. This time I found one that was actually in our limits for once. So we should be able to finish this one.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
It's just the past few times I've been, we try to have a word limit because these things can go all day and it takes a long time to get through them. But just lately I've been finding all these, ones that are just pure gold, but they're massive. People put so much work into their fan fiction. It's insane. Okay. Here we go. Before this story starts, Bloody Bunny is going to be in the Loud House and part of the Loud family as a foster sister. This will take place after Lincoln got his spider powers from Oscorp and becomes a wall-crawling vigilante known as the Spider Archer or the Spider. But this is before he meets Ronnie Ann and becomes her secret boyfriend, and before he changed his name to Spider Boy.
Legally.
God.
This has a lot of prefaces in this story. I'm just gonna skip. This is gonna spoil the story. Well, no, hold on. There's important info like his Spider Archer costume. Here are the details: scarlet Spider-Man mask, red and blue hoodie with 2 white spiders, red and white Nike gloves, blue pants, and white shoes. His weapons: a red and black recurve bow, red and white arrows. Gadgets and trick arrows, web bombs, trip mine, impact web, spider drone, web arrow, router arrow, voice recording / listening arrow, flashbang arrow, explosive arrow, electric arrow, magnetic arrow, cable net arrow, double arrow, freeze arrow.
You better use all those. Chekhov's gun.
He had help with his sister Lisa, who made those trick arrows and gadgets. His web shooters, they're going to be like from Spider-Man 2099. Says it for, I don't know, forgot to mention the story of Spider Archer. It's a criminal killer that kills criminals and murderers, but sometimes he spares them and places them in jail for justice. Now we can really begin. Night. Lincoln and Bloody Bunny's room. Lincoln was putting on his spider suit with a quiver full of arrows strapped behind his back. Once he was finishing putting on his suit, he grabbed his mask and placed it on top of his head, before he gets out of his room by going over the window and web swing go away. While swinging, Lincoln, or should I say Spider Archer, looks at the audience. If you're wondering where I'm heading out at night, it's because I'm heading towards a building corporation which Wilson Fisk owns, Spider Archer said as he web swung on his left side.
Way to frickin' dox Wilson Fix. Whoever this is.
That's Kingpin.
Oh.
The funny large man.
If you're wondering where 1232 Moultrie Lane is, it's the house of Wilson Fix.
732 Evergreen Terrace. Come on.
Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah. How long I was the Spider Archer? 3 months. I've been protecting this city as long that I'm alive. But I won't be alone. My best friend and sisters are going to help me. But for now, I'm doing my own work outside the city of Michigan and my neighborhood, Royal Woods. Speaking of which, does Loud House take place in Michigan?
Yeah.
We got resident Loudhouser, Blue Breed over here. You should make that your Twitter name, Resident Loudhouser.
Oh god, there we go.
Spider Archer let go of his web and jumped down before it landed down into one of the highest corporation buildings in Michigan on its rooftop. That makes me really mad that Kingpin has his whole Fisk set up in Michigan.
Right.
Why did Lincoln Loud swing out of his window onto a 50-story building?
He's got work to do.
He lives so close to Wilson Fisk.
His neighbor.
Wilson Fisk is just drawn like what's the gas station man's name?
Fucking Flip.
Flippy.
Wilson Flip.
Look up a picture of Flip Loudhouse, you'll laugh guaranteed. Let's start with building number 1. The spider started to walk over to the vent. He rips open the vent gate and places it on the roof before crawling inside the air duct. He's just breaking and entering with no reason.
I don't like this guy. I'm going to break into his house.
I'm going to see what he's up to. When Spider Archer was inside, he landed on the floor with his feet, seeing multiple armed guards all working for Wilson Fisk.
Oh no.
Oh.
He just
Getting
ripped
shot with
open
a
a
real gun.
gate and fell down in front of a group of guards. Spider Archer makes his first move. He started to knock out some guards and webbed them, but most of the guards he killed with his arrows. Not only that, but he also creates some damages inside of the building and destroying private property, but he doesn't care. After dealing with the guards, he moves to the boss's office, kicked the door open, and saw the boss himself, who had the gun trained on Spider Archer. Spider Archer quickly web disarmed the gun away from his hand and tossed it aside. No using guns, he stuck his finger at him.
Only lethal bow and arrows.
He just killed a bunch of people.
Right.
Lincoln loud. What do you want, Spider? The boss asked. You don't have to play games around me. I know you work for Wilson Fisk. So it's not even him. It's the boss that's not him. Okay. And what if I do work for him? The boss was trying to weasel his way out of it. Don't try to make a fool out of me. I know you work for him. I need you to send him a message. Tell him he gets 3 days to pack his stuff and bring his men with him to get out of my city. Then I'll pay him a visit, and he won't mind if kill his lieutenants by putting arrows in them, while some of them go behind bars. Spider Archer warns.
He's like frantically writing this down. Oh, yeah.
Spider Archer's mumbling over his words. Horrible grammar. Making such threats.
Oh, God.
They go arrows behind bars and
Some of them will be killed. They won't mind. I'll kill his lieutenant, some will not. He's like trying to write this, but his brain can't wrap around it.
Oh, God.
This will be his one warning. It won't be another one. He walked away from the office. You know he'll be angry. Like I care, Spider Archer sarcastically before walking away from him. Page break. Lincoln and Bloody Bunny's room. Let's hope that message got out to Fisk, said Lincoln as he placed his mask down to the bed, still in his Spider Archer outfit. I take it you gave one of Wilson Fisk's lapdogs your message? Bloody Bunny asked before she came into the room by using the cat door.
okay.
Can you look up Bloody Bunny and see if that's a thing?
Okey-doke.
I think it's not, but it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. Let's hope he'll get out of the city before I take things seriously, said Lincoln. And I think I need your help by killing some of his lieutenants. Sure, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm getting bored anyway, Bloody Bunny replied. One last thing. Dinner is ready and you should get out of that costume. You don't have to tell me twice, said Lincoln in agreement.
The hell? It's like a friggin' musician person.
Oh, okay.
Alright, whatever.
Wait, is that from that Cartoon Network show with the bunny foo rabbits?
Nah, it's not Yin Yang Yo. It's friggin'
Bloody Bunny and Moo Moo's father.
interesting.
Musical artist.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 2. Lisa and Lily's room. Lisa Loud was on her computer studying a mathematical sciences homework problem that she got from school. So far, she's nearly done with it. God, how do I talk like her? Like, stick my whole tongue out?
You talk like who?
Lisa Loud, the genius. She. Oh yeah, she has the.
Yeah, she is.
She's like Sammy Sprinkler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. We had to bring back Warming the Bench. That was my favorite segment. Anyway. Only 2 more answers and I'm finished, Lisa said to herself as she continues to type down. Lincoln came into her room. He notices Lisa is busy with her homework, so he tries his best not to disturb her. 31 seconds later, she was done. She sent her homework to her teacher so it can be looked at. She then turned her gaze at her brother Lincoln. Hello, dear brother Unit. How can I help you? Since you did not disturb me from my homework that I already completed it, Lisa says. Which I must thank you. Welcome, and now that you ask, there's something that I must show you. Lincoln showed her a red folder. This folder contains a list of names that Wilson Fisk has hired into his group, and they've been working for him for years ago. He gave her the folder. As she opens it and sees a bunch of names. Just a bright red manila envelope. Fascinating. But where did you get this information from? Bloody Bunny gave it to me, and if you're going to ask where she is in the bathroom, wiping off some blood off her fur and sword, Lincoln replied. How did she get blood on her fur? Lisa said confusedly. Lincoln rubbed the back of his head. That's complicated.
He did say sword also.
Yeah, she's not worried about the sword part. Anyway, after she gave it to me, I do a little digging into the names of who I need to attack first until I find one. Just name is Carlos Claiborne. The CEO of Claiborne Pharmaceuticals? Said Lisa with an eyebrow raised. Lincoln, may I ask why you're going to attack him? Because. Lincoln turns around to the door and tells her, he's working for Wilson Fisk for 2 years, and he caused a sick illness to Lamb Valley, killing thousands of people. He also committed several murders and blamed it on the other person. No way. He's not getting away with it.
How does he know this?
He's got the intel. Bloody Bunny's his bunny on the inside. Are you preferring a personal vendetta against him, Lincoln? Lisa says. I must say, it may be what's the word? Oh, yes, a bit too far? No. Lincoln shook his head to assure her.
No.
It's not about both vendetta and revenge. This is about redemption. And this redemption, I'm going to give him. Lisa sighed. Okay, you may say that, but be careful. Too much redemption will cloud your mind to influence your brain and your thoughts. Relax. I'm not going to get it out of hand, Lincoln assured her. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a little talk with an old man. He gets out of her room to go to his room. We shall see, brother unit. There's a page break.
I hate when third party characters are like side characters say "we shall see." So foreboding.
We shall see. This is like toddler.
What does she know?
I am going off the headcanon where they're the exact same age as they are in the show.
Of course.
And Lincoln Loud is murdering people left and right.
Of course. He's the same age as the author, I'm sure.
Claiborne Pharmaceuticals building. Thanks to the influx of cash from our dye cluster, all acquisition of our RD pipelines fully funded for the next 2 years. They are exciting times, gentlemen, and it's just the beginning, said Carlos Claiborne as he was hosting a meeting with some of black marketers. Suddenly, the lights of the building came off. They all look up in confusion until one of the security guards is pulled away in the shadows by a web string as he screams loudly.
Why does Lincoln have these like half Spider-Man powers? It seems like his bow is enough.
It's cool.
I mean, if he's just gonna kill people, what's the use?
Spider Archer.
I guess like travel.
Yeah, they made him Spider-Man, but also made him Hawkeye.
Right.
I also liked how like all of his spider gadgets were just the stuff you get in the PS4 game.
Yeah, they were.
Which implies this is a very recent fan fiction.
Well, it is Loud House. It's not that old.
That's true. The other guards caught attention to this. They fired their bullets from where that came from, but they are all killed by arrows to their torsos or chest. The spider jumped down out of the shadows. He fired an arrow to the final guard into his neck as the gun shot the explosive tank, causing it to explode behind the spider, making his appearance terrifying to Claiborne. as workers of the building decided to run away. Claiborne and the spider were all alone. The spider looks at the old man and decides to talk. Carlos Claiborne, you have failed Royal Woods and the city, said the spider. I think you have the wrong guy, pal. My company only makes drugs that help people. Carlos was trying to weasel his way out. Not the people in Lamb Valley. It's not my problem if people can't afford it, Carlos told him. It is now. The spider archer shoved and pushed Carlos under the table as he took a mini flamethrower to show it to Carlos's face. He just shoved him like a bully. One hand in the shoulder.
You're giving Lincoln such an actual child actor voice. His delivery is so flat.
Your days of holding the city hostage is over. Do you understand me? Okay, yes, Carlos said fearfully. With that, the spider tossed the mini flamethrower away from him. You got till 11 p.m. tomorrow to make this right. He began to walk away from him. And what happens if I don't? Carlos challenged before he got off the table. The spider archer whirled around, notched the arrow in the bow and fired. It entered Claiborne's leg, causing him to fall down to the floor and cry out in pain.
Jeez.
I'll aim higher. The spider continues to walk off.
That's some real, like, John Wayne shit.
And if I don't, he turns around in a blink of an eye and pierces his leg.
Right.
He screamed like when Ace Ventura has the spear chucked into his leg. And then the other one, the other leg. I love that movie. Page break. Hey Lisa, guess what? I found it. Lincoln came into his sister's room again with a blue folder in his hand. I got this folder from Claiborne's office and I have been digging into that. He gave it to Lisa and she took it and opened it, beginning to look through the papers.
She's like, stop bringing me these illegal documents. I don't want these.
These bright red and bright blue folders.
Here, Lisa, I brought you some secret government documents again that'll get you in big trouble. Stop, please.
I was wearing my gloves so my fingerprint's not on them. It turns out his drug pills were turned into a bioweapon that can spread to other people. Weaponized tuberculosis, said Lisa as she read it from the file.
Holy shit.
Oh no.
Weaponized tuberculosis. That's awful. That's right. And he didn't care who died in the process. He'd been helping out the terrorist group known as the AK Desmond, Lincoln says. And now you're going to kill him, are you? Lisa asked with a wild guess. Lincoln nodded. Lincoln, you must need to be careful who you kill. True, some people turn to murderers and criminals who committed a crime, but they did deserve something better than death. I know, Lincoln replied. Bloody bunny not to let the darkness consume me, and I'm not letting that happen. Lisa rolled her eyes and sighed. What I'm trying to say is be careful. You'll never know if a criminal is innocent. Some, but not many, are innocent. Lincoln added in. And you know that. Anyway, I need a quick favor. Can you find Carlos's house and his address?
Oh my god!
Oh, good God.
Lincoln, you don't sound very innocent yourself.
Nope.
I know. I do, but not have enough research information. However, I will do some research about it later, until I find out where his location is, Lisa responded. Alright, keep me updated, Lincoln replied before leaving his sister's room. There are like 9 other sisters that he's just not interacting with.
Right.
Lincoln would gaslight the shit out of her if she revealed anything.
He would shoot her with an arrow.
That too.
His morals are questionable. And there's a page break. Night. Lincoln was on the rooftop in his Spider Archer outfit without the mask, looking strong at the clock tower's time. It was past 11:06 p.m. It means that Carlos Claiborne hasn't changed and he hasn't made things right. He was still making weaponized tuberculosis to spread all over Lamb Valley again. It happened some time ago on the news. And this time, 51 people died in the national causes of tuberculosis.
Why would he do this? It's just like terrorism?
I guess. He's just killing random people.
Just giving people tuberculosis.
He didn't listen to his warning yesterday. Lincoln should have put an arrow into Carlos. He did!
Another one. Higher.
I'll aim higher. When he first attacked him, but no, it made it worse and it backfired against him. Today's the day Claiborne dies, Lincoln said in a dark tone. Lincoln's phone in his pocket, it started to ring. He took it out and answered it. Hello? Lincoln. The caller was his genius sister, Lisa. I'm sending you the coordinates to Carlos Claiborne's house. You should get there in a matter of time. Thanks, Lisa. Lincoln hung up and placed his mask on before he started to web sling away. Page break. Claiborne's penthouse.
Nice. He deserves it too.
He didn't change his way. When the door of the penthouse was kicked open by the spider, one of Claiborne's guards spotted him passing through. The guard tries to punch him, but the spider grabs him by the aim and throws him through a glass wall, causing him to fall down on the carpet floor. You're telling me Claiborne's this big millionaire, but he's still got carpeted floors? The spider archer walked over to him and fired an arrow at the guard towards his heart as he continued onward. As the spider walked through the hallway, he saw Carlos talking to one of his guards. Carlos spotted the spider archer coming to kill him. Kill that son of a bitch! I do need to point out the bitch is slightly censored, but not really. They just put a star for the H. He ordered before he turned to run away. Just before the guard tries to pull out his gun, the spider archer shoots him in the neck with an arrow before having the chance to. The spider archer walked over, fired another arrow into him, but this time it was in his chest, making sure he was dead. So the guy put an arrow in the neck. He just casually walked by and shot him from the side. Jesus. Spider Archer notched 2 arrows, fired them, and hit 2 guards in the abdomen and stomach before he rushed up to the escalator. The spider started to punch, kick some guards left and right, knocking them out or webbed them by hanging them up, down, side, to the ceiling or the wall. After the 3 guards came down to the escalators, the spider... escalators? He's got big mall escalators in his mansion. They're carpeted too. The spider took out one of his arrows and stabbed one of them straight into the heart before throwing his corpse away and stabbing the other in the forehead. As for the last guard, the spider kicked him between the legs and grabbed his hand with his 2 hands before neck-snapping him and throwing the body aside.
Spider Archer is absolutely the biggest villain.
Right.
Lincoln loud. Clearing his path, Spider Archer continues by killing his target. On the rooftop building with a swimming pool, Claiborne with his other 2 guards has nowhere else to go. Just then the spider came to the rooftop. He quickly fired 2 arrows into 2 of the last guards into their backs, killing them instantly as they fell dead. Carlos turned around to face the spider once again. You gonna tell me again I failed this city in Royal Woods? Carlos mocked. You infected the people in Lamb Valley with tuberculosis to a profit, Spider Archer snarled.
How?
I guess he gave them tuberculosis so he could sell them medicine to cure their tuberculosis.
Okay.
Because he has a pharmaceutical place.
Yeah, I was thinking more like he sold the medicine that doesn't work, and or like
one or the other.
Yeah.
He could have sold them tuberculosis capsulated.
There you go.
Weaponized. You want to make this city great again? This is how with business, Carlos said. You're sentencing innocent people, family and children to death, Spider Archer said angrily. Nobody cares about the people, I'm just thinning the herd, Claiborne justified. The Spider hated to admit it, but he was right. Nobody cares what happens to people, even if they die or live. It doesn't matter to the world, it's survival of the fittest.
Alright. Lincoln's going off with you, Ben. Remember what your sister said.
Only the strong will survive and the weak must die, but it doesn't matter to him. So am I! The Spider took out an arrow out of his quiver and shot Claiborne towards his heart, causing him to gasp before he fell down to the swimming pool so he could drown to death. Carlos Claiborne was dead with him, gone. No one else is going to take his company, nor his family will. Good riddance! The Spider walked away as he jumped off the building before the police had the chance to arrive at the scene. To be continued. Carlos Claiborne, status deceased, age 45, hair none, parentheses he's bald, eye color blue, facial hair full white, full beard white. And that's it. What would you rate that story?
I give that well over 11 sisters worth of a body count out of 10.
I give that 2 arrows quivered, 2 kills.
I give that a construction paper shaped folders filled with legal government documents out of 10. Who wants to go next? Who can top the Spider Archer?
Let's see. I can go if you want.
I'm ready too. It's up to you.
Oh, good. Let's see.
Do rock, paper, scissors for it.
How long is your story?
Let's see. I'm not gonna finish it.
Yeah, same.
Let's see here. Yeah, we can rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Okay.
Steven cut you up.
It's okay.
Steven's great at everything he does.
Let's see here. This man's name is Edward Charles Allen Brock Jr., but he preferred to be called Eddie Brock. He was a man with blue eyes and reddish blonde hair. Eddie was once a respected journalist for the Daily Globe, a rival of the Daily Bugle. Unfortunately for him, he was fired when a story he wrote was proven false by the superhero Spiderman. He blamed the redhead for his career going downhill. One day he went to a church to pray for forgiveness for thinking of ending the pain he was going through via suicide. While he was praying, an alien life form that looked like living black goo called a symbiote bonded with him. It had previously bonded with Spider-Man, but he rejected it when he found out that it does what it does to its host. An alien symbiote feeds on and enhances the negative emotions in a host, especially aggression and hate. So when the symbiote bonded with Eddie, he learned all of Spider-Man's secrets, including his identity. It also enhanced his hatred for Spider-Man. Ever since then, he became one of Spider-Man's deadliest enemies, Venom. However, when Venom addresses himself, he refers to himself as we, since Venom is really two beings in one body. Just recently, Venom had fled from New York City to get away from the authorities and settled in a small neighborhood. He has been hiding out here for about a month, and nobody, not even Spider-Man, has found out he has been in the town yet. Today, he was watching a homecoming football game at elementary school as Eddie Brock. However, things weren't looking good for one particular team. It was because of a girl named Lucy Van Pelt. For some reason, she pulled away the football every time one of her teammates, Charlie Brown, tried to kick the ball.
I thought it was weird he was at an elementary football game.
Eddie Brock is just transfixed on this girl.
The one adult in the Peanuts world. Just this huge brick house of a man sitting between all these like super like simplistic children.
And when her teammate misses, he falls to the ground. Lucy's nasty trick was causing their team to lose. And what's worse, the team was blaming Charlie Brown and not Lucy.
Eddie is so mad.
They did lose, and the teammates wouldn't stop blaming him.
He's gonna feed on Lucy.
What Lucy had done made Eddie Brock angry. He stormed into a dark alley. Just then, his symbiote caused the head of his alter ego to sprout. Normally, when Eddie is as Venom, he takes on the appearance of a monstrous version of Spider-Man in his black costume. He had the same spider symbol like Spider-Man did when he wore the symbiote, but the white eyes looked more evil. In addition, he had sharp teeth, a snake-like tongue, and a large white spider symbol on his chest and back. But sometimes he can talk with the symbiote, whether it's in his head or the symbiote forms its face. What that girl did was so unsportsmanlike, said Venom.
Venom hates unsportsmanlike characters.
Like fucking Pigpen looks over and this huge brick house just has half his face covered in black sludge. This big toothy grin. He doesn't bat an eye at it.
You got that right. They're blaming Charlie Brown instead of her, said Eddie. The kids must be very stupid if they're blaming the wrong person when they're seeing who's doing the act right in front of their eyes. Either that, or they were born blind.
These two 20 IQ beans having a conversation.
Getting this upset over an elementary school football game.
That was pretty fucked up. Yeah, you're right.
I just imagine from the perspective in the bleachers, from the back of Eddie's head, and you just see really far away Charlie Brown run up and go, ah! As he slams into the ground, and everyone points and laughs.
Eddie fumes.
Eddie full transformed into Venom. Time to see what their lives are like, but we'll use stealth so as to not be seen, said Venom.
Why is there so much Peanuts fanfiction?
Venom then left to find Charlie Brown and stalk him.
He's gonna
Venom's gonna take over Charlie Brown.
venomize Charlie Brown.
Chapter 2, snubbed out of the party. Later that evening, Venom followed Charlie Brown to the house where a party that was to take place after the game was being held at. He used his stealth ability to make himself invisible to the naked eye. Charlie Brown was a boy with a bald, round head and almost always wore black shorts and a deep yellow polo shirt with a black zigzag stripe down the middle. Venom tracked him to the house where the party was taking place. He began to hear an argument between Charlie Brown and Lucy Van Pelt. Lucy was a girl with black hair, and she wore a blue dress and white and black shoes with blue socks. Venom began to overhear an argument between the two. You can't ban me from the party, Lucy. I'm the boy who's supposed to escort Heather and give her a kiss, said Charlie Brown.
Damn.
Well, you proved you aren't worthy of it after the way you screwed up the game, said Lucy.
Damn.
This is all Lucy's plot.
Yeah, Chuck, you can't do anything right, said Peppermint Patty. But it was Lucy who cost us the game, not me, said Charlie Brown. Liar! We all saw that it was your fault and yours alone, and it'll stay that way once it's published in the school paper tomorrow. I can already picture it now.
I don't like where I think the story is going.
You missed the kick, you can't go to the dance. That one kick that we decided was crucial.
That I decided would be so funny if you missed it, so that I could put the blame on you.
I decided you couldn't come to the prom.
It'll be permanently embellished in the school's history once we put it in the newspaper.
You will never find love, Charlie Brown. It's all thanks to me, Lucy.
I can already picture it now. The front headline, Charlie Brown messes up football game, said Lucy. We don't believe it. They're going to print lies about that kid. She's to blame for the defeat, not him, thought Venom.
Venom is so invested in Charlie Brown.
He's righteous.
Just tell them the truth. Tell them it was your fault we lost the game, said Charlie Brown. I don't need to, because everyone saw it was you who messed up the game, said Lucy. But if you continue to lie about me, Heather will never love me, said Charlie Brown. That's the idea, you blockhead.
Jesus Christ!
You are unworthy and too pathetic to have happiness with her.
It's funny.
She's so much more corrupt than the Spider Archer.
This paper will ensure you stay in Loserville, said Lucy.
Lucy would absolutely bully the shit out of the Spider Archer.
She would. She'd die so fast in that universe.
She'd bully him so hard his hand would tremble to even grab an arrow.
Bully him so hard he brought his arrows to school.
Oh no.
Don't come to school tomorrow. No reason.
But Lucy, said Charlie Brown, not another word. Try to interfere with the printing press and I'll pound you to the point you'll need a life support system. Now get out before I do clobber you. You're banned from the party and that's final, said Lucy.
We'll ruin you. You will be a loser forever.
Lucy was such a tirade. Bullying him so hard.
And then he's gonna walk outside and she's gonna be sitting there at her psychology booth and make him talk to him about it.
Wow, this Lucy chick sounds so shitty, Charlie Brown. You should do something about that.
Maybe
She's bullying you, Charlie Brown. You gotta stand up for yourself.
maybe cough up a few more nickels and I'll give you some ideas.
Maybe try not being such a cunt, Charlie Brown. Come on.
Charlie, you sound kind of pathetic, I'll be honest.
Psychology can only help so much, Charlie Brown. I'm on break.
Now, I don't know why, but I can't help but agree with her, Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown walked sadly away as the other kids yelled at him for the crime that was Lucy's fault. They were also throwing stuff at him. Lucy grinned a devilish grin.
Like the Grinch.
Then grit his teeth in anger as he watched. This has gone too far. Lucy must pay. They must all pay. We will not sit around and allow Charlie Brown's life to get ruined.
He's gonna blow his cover for Charlie Brown. What a bro.
As a united lethal protector, we must teach Lucy and the other kids a lesson they'll never forget. We'll make them see the truth through violence and fear. And we know just how to do it. Look out, you blockheads. We're gonna show you what a lethal protector can do.
He picked up Lucy's insult.
You blockheads. He sticks his big tongue out.
And he let out a vicious snarl, showing a snake-like tongue.
He learned a new swear word.
That made him 20% more evil.
Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Running Away.
Who's running away? I have to know.
When he got back home, Charlie Brown knew there was only one thing to do. He was going to run away and leave town forever. He began to pack up many things when his little sister Sally and his beagle Snoopy entered his room. Sally was a young girl with blonde hair, wore a blue dress. Snoopy was a white beagle with black ears, black nose, and black spot on his back. He wore a red collar around his neck. "What's going on, big brother? Shouldn't you be at the party?" asked Sally. "I was unfairly banned from the party, no thanks to Lucy's manipulation, so I'm running away," replied Charlie Brown. "Why?" asked Sally. "Thanks to Lucy framed me at the homecoming game, nobody is giving me any respect. Our team refuses to believe me that Lucy is responsible. What's worse, they're gonna print lies in tomorrow's school paper," said Charlie Brown. Snoopy growled angrily upon hearing what Lucy was planning to do.
Snoopy's gonna bite her.
Have you tried standing up to her? Asked Sally.
Nope. What?
She says she'll pound me if I try to stop her. Running away is the only way to avoid getting hated for the rest of my life.
And she would pound him.
I'll find a town where kids will treat me right, said Charlie Brown.
Kids.
Your problem is that you can't stand up for yourself. Someday you're gonna have to stand up for what you believe is right and show everybody you won't be pushed around, said Sally. What good has that done me in the past? Lucy will just pound me for trying to stand up to her.
It's almost like he needs some sort of extraterrestrial being that will amplify his emotions.
And his strength.
And his strength. And his teeth.
Standing up for myself hasn't helped me in life, and it never will, said Charlie Brown. As Charlie Brown started to leave, Snoopy gave him the puppy dog eyes. I know you don't want me to leave, but I must. At least I'll find someone who will appreciate me someday, said Charlie Brown.
Snoopy appreciates you.
He closed the door behind him. The bald-headed boy could hear Snoopy howling mournfully as he walked away from his old home.
Jeez.
Oof. Charlie Brown walked until he finally arrived to a bus stop. Eddie Brock was waiting there too. So that's it? You're really gonna run away from your problems and let that Lucy get away with her crime? Asked Eddie. Who are you? And how do you know about my problems? Asked Charlie Brown. My name is...
With his arms folded, leaning up against the bus stop post.
This Leviathan-sized man in his leather jacket. My name is Eddie Brock, and I've been watching you since the homecoming game, and I know you're not to blame for your team losing the game, said Eddie. Why do you care? Nobody cares about me and my worthless life, said Charlie Brown sadly. Suddenly, Eddie grabbed Charlie Brown and slammed him against a tree. Well, I may be the first. You can't let everybody push you around, especially Lucy. She's nothing but a heartless bleep.
Oh no!
Hero bleep.
She's nothing but a heartless.
You need to teach her some manners, said Eddie.
Charlie Brown's jaw dropped.
He put Charlie Brown down. I can't. She'll pound me. She'll pound anyone who gets on her bound side.
What if she pounds Venom?
Everybody knows not to mess with her or they'll get pounded too.
She says, Venom, wanna play football? And she posts it out from under Venom and he gets so mad.
Bites her fucking head off.
He brings her into the darkness.
As long as all the kids fear her, she'll always get what she wants, said Charlie Brown. Then an evil smile formed on Eddie Brock's face. He began to transform into Venom again. Maybe you just need the right push, snarled Venom. Charlie Brown's eyes widened in horror. He never saw something as terrible as Venom. He screamed at the sight of him. Who are you? asked Charlie Brown. We are Venom, and we will help you get revenge on those who hurt you, including that blockhead Lucy, said Venom.
That blockhead.
Charlie's like, oh, she is kind of a blockhead, huh? He does that.
Charlie Brown tried to run, but Venom grabbed him up by the shirt. Then Charlie Brown noticed the part of the symbiote that was starting to ooze over him. What are you doing? What's going on? asked Charlie Brown. We are giving you a part of our power. Power that'll make those blockheads fear and respect you. Nobody will ever mistreat you again when you're through with them. Sometimes it's better to be feared than loved. You'll have the power to finally get payback. From this day forth, you'll be known as Payback.
Whoa.
Welcome to the dark side, Charlie Brown.
Oh, no. He leaves home for one day.
No, he was there for a month.
Charlie Brown screamed.
Oh, Charlie Brown, you mean?
Yeah. Charlie Brown screamed as the portion of Venom's symbiote began to overtake him. As the symbiote was bonding with Charlie Brown, a part of Charlie that was never unleashed began to awaken. A part nobody thought Charlie Brown would have. A side of Charlie Brown that was full of anger and hate. Elsewhere, Spider-Man had arrived into the neighborhood. He was wearing his traditional red and blue costume.
Just arrived.
Spider-Man had been tracking Venom for about a month. Since he
He's
couldn't...
been doing a good job.
He's been sitting on the bleachers and watching football games.
He knows who Eddie Brock is.
Right. Since he couldn't detect Venom with any spider sense, he had to figure out an alternative. So he built a machine that was able to read symbiote DNA. Using a sample of the Venom symbiote, his portable symbiote detector had led him to Charlie Brown's neighborhood. The signal was coming from that neighborhood. Now what could Venom be doing here? I'll resume my search tomorrow. I'm beat after my long journey, said Spider-Man.
He flipped all the way to wherever Charlie Brown is. I already forgot.
Little did Spider-Man know that he would soon have to worry about 2 symbiote users the next day.
That's really intimidating to think about.
Chapter 4, Sally's Anger.
Sally's?
Oh no.
Third symbiote user.
The next day, Sally Brown...
Symbiote's blood red.
The next day, Sally Brown walked to school, still sad about her older brother running away. As she approached the school, she saw Lucy and her brother Linus walking in opposite directions. Linus was a kid who wore black pants and a red shirt with black stripes. He carried a blue security blanket.
She's gonna try to confront Lucy.
Oh, shit. Hello, Sally, said Linus. Normally, Sally would be all lovey-dovey when she was around Linus, but not today, since Linus was one of the kids who scorned Charlie Brown. Oh, hello, Linus. Hello, Lucy, said Sally with venom in her voice. What's the matter, Sally? Asked Linus. Yeah, I thought you'd be all mushy whenever you're around my brother, said Lucy. Let's see here. I would, if it weren't the events of last night, said Sally. What events? Asked Lucy. I'm talking about how you cost our football team the homecoming game and pinned the blame on Charlie Brown and banned him from the party last night, said Sally scornfully. He did cost us the game, said Linus.
He did. It was all his fault.
No, he didn't. It was you. He told me so himself, said Sally. He's lying to you. He knows that since you're so young, you're easy to fool with his lies.
Jesus Christ.
He did cause us to lose the game, and that's that. Which is why he didn't come with you to school, because he's too ashamed to show himself in public, said Lucy.
So much emotional manipulation in this Peanut story.
These kids are fucking horrible, Jesus Christ. Hearing this made Sally angry. He's not hiding. He ran away from home, yelled Sally. Linus was shocked when he heard these words. Did you say he ran away? Asked Linus. Everybody else began to hear what Sally was saying. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Lucy, said Sally. She turned to everybody else. In fact, it's all your fault. Thanks to you always putting Charlie Brown down, I'll never see my big brother again, yelled Sally. Everybody began to gossip due to Sally chewing them out. Don't listen to her. She's just a little girl who can't live in the real world.
The real world where Charlie Brown sucks and there's nothing you could do about it.
The reality is that Charlie Brown cost us to lose the game, and that's final, said Lucy.
This is like some Death Note level manipulation.
It is.
Got a whole light Yagami in you, Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy Yagami. Lucy Turner.
She turned to Sally. Say something like that again and I'll pound you, said Lucy.
Whoa!
Sally let out a huff. Fine, but I'll never get over it. Never, said Sally.
She's afraid of Lucy's pounding. Who could stand up to such a powerhouse?
She began to walk away. Sally, wait, I didn't mean to cause Charlie Brown, said Linus. Pow! Sally punched Linus, knocking him down. Don't come near me unless you can find Charlie Brown and bring him back home. And to think you were my sweet baboo. I guess you're not after all. You're just as cruel as your sister, yelled Sally, and she walked away.
That cuts deep.
Uh-huh. Lucy walked toward the printing room of the school to collect the papers to distribute them. Today's the day that I finally ensure that Charlie Brown stays in the loser's block forever.
He already left town and she's still distributing these paper propagandas.
I fucking hate Lucy so much.
Seriously. Once that issue hits the newsstand, nobody will ever respect that blockhead again, even if he is gone. Not even Heather. After I ruin Charlie Brown's name for good, I'll find a way to finally get rid of Linus's stupid blanket once and for all, said Lucy.
She is on a power trip if I've ever seen one.
She's a Twitter user.
She's a Karen.
Lucy opened the door of the printing press to pick up the first delivery. Say goodbye to your good What? Ah! Screamed Lucy. The room was a total wreck. The printing machines were all destroyed. Every newspaper was ripped up.
Counterplay.
Hell yeah. Ink was everywhere, and all the school paper staff were on the ground.
No.
Oh. Lucy ran to one of the school paper editors. What happened? Who did this? Asked Lucy. Cried the editor. A black creature did this? Asked Lucy.
Whoa.
Oh my god. Cried the editor. He then fell unconscious. Every copy, even the digital files. Now we have to start all over again.
Hacked.
Ah! Screamed Lucy. She stormed out of the office. I can't stand it. My plan's ruined. Ruined! Whoever this black creature is, I'm going to beat that thing into a permanent coma, fumed Lucy.
Oh my god.
Lucy!
You can't be shouting that at school. Charlie Brown.
She rules with a goddamn iron fist.
Oh my god.
Walking around threatening to beat the crap out of everyone.
Have a black creature, quote unquote. Charlie Brown, now under the name Venom bestowed upon him, Payback, watched Lucy from the shadows as she stormed off.
Charlie Brown in the shadows is so funny.
Just that classic plain face of his, just in the blackness of a corner.
Creepypasta Charlie Brown.
Printed on a poor inkjet printer.
He chuckled wickedly. When we're through with you, you heartless jerk, it'll be you who will be in a permanent coma, snickered Payback.
Whoa!
And he let out another chuckle.
You heartless jerk.
One more chapter. I think I'll probably finish this at some point. Meanwhile, at another school, it was another typical day at school for Peppermint Patty and her friend Marcy. Peppermint Patty was a girl with medium-length, light brown hair with front bangs, a big nose, and freckles. She usually wore a green shirt with vertical stripes on it, black pants, and a pair of green sandals. Marcy was Peppermint Patty's best friend and for some reason called her Sir. Marcy had medium-length dark brown hair and wore a red shirt and blue pants with white sneakers. She also wore glasses, too. Right now, Marcy was starting to feel some guilt for the way she and the others treated Charlie Brown. Sir, do you think we were a little harsh with Charlie Brown? I mean, banning him from the party sounded disproportionate, said Marcy.
It was.
No, he goofed up the game, and getting banned is what he deserved. So I don't feel guilty at all.
Fuck Chuck.
So I don't feel guilty at all, said Peppermint Patty. Well, I do, said Marcy. That's your problem, not mine, retorted Peppermint Patty.
God damn.
Just then, Peppermint Patty started to feel very sleepy. She tried to stay awake, but it was useless. She was falling face first toward the open book on her desk. She failed to notice the sticky black substance in her book. Her face connected to the book with a loud splat. Peppermint Patty woke up and realized about her current predicament. She tried to lift her head up, but she couldn't. Her face was glued to the book, and what's worse, it seemed her book was glued to her desk. Asked the teacher. My face is glued to my book, and I think my book is glued to my desk.
I thought for a second that was supposed to be her trying to talk through the goo.
Yeah, me too.
I do like how they're keeping the parent continuity in that story.
True.
I'm surprised kids weren't operating the printer press.
Same. My face is glued to my book, and I think my book is glued to my desk, cried Peppermint Patty in a muffled voice. Everybody in the class began to laugh at her except Marcy.
Can't believe Venom pranked her.
It's payback.
Venom's fucking suffocating her.
No, it's payback.
Payback pranked her.
Marcy saw the current predicament Peppermint Patty was in. She tried to pull her face off the book and desk. Unfortunately, she couldn't. Then Marcy tried using a crowbar to pry the book off the desk. Suddenly, the part of the desk where the book was glued was ripped off the desk. Jeez.
Marcy, goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
Anything for you, sir.
This made the rest of the class laugh even harder. It was so humiliating for Marcy's best friend. Sorry, sir, I'm trying my best, said Marcy, blushing in embarrassment. Marcy and Peppermint Patty decide to visit the nurse's office, hoping she can help get the book and desk chunk off Peppermint Patty's face. As they were walking down the halls, they were ambushed by a strange black creature. He was about Peppermint Patty and Marcy's size. He was muscular and evil-looking with evil white eyes.
Whoa!
Imagine a buff Peanuts character.
What's foul?
With Charlie Brown's proportions.
They're just like rounded muscles. Looks like a Mucha Lucha character.
Yeah, for real.
He had sharp teeth, a snake-like tongue, sharp claws, and a white zigzag pattern on his chest. I like that.
Is that you, Chuck?
That's a design.
You should draw that later.
This was the result of Charlie Brown becoming a symbiote monster like Venom. Payback let out a snarl at the two girls. Ah! Cried Marcy. Marcy, what's going on? Asked Peppermint Patty. We're under attack by a black monster, sir, cried Marcy. Peppermint Patty let out a muffled scream and tried to run. However, Payback fired some sort of black webbing at her, which encased her in a cocoon. Payback turned to Marcy and raised a fist at her. You wouldn't hit a girl with glasses, would you? Asked Marcy. Payback grabbed Marcy's glasses and hit her with them, breaking them.
Like, one that's barely gonna do anything. That is really funny.
Smash them on her head.
You wouldn't hit a girl with glasses, would you? Oh, I would.
Nice pun, Venom. I mean, Payback.
You hit a girl with glasses, said Marcy. And then Payback webbed Marcy up too. Her mouth was glued shut so she couldn't scream for help. After that, the young monster grabbed both girls and began to web sling away.
Oh no. I'm gonna stick him to the wall in his basement like Ed, Edd n Eddy.
He's starting his harem.
Cover them in chunky puffs.
Oh god. After school, Schroeder did his homework. Schroeder was a boy with blonde hair, and he wore a purple shirt with thick black stripes, black pants, and brown shoes.
Is Schroeder the piano boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And after finishing his homework, he went to his piano to play Ode to Joy. He was
Play the Spider-Man theme song.
He was a big fan of Beethoven. He began playing the song. Little did he realize that the piano keys were rigged with some sort of device. When he tapped a certain key, the next thing Schroeder knew, he had been caught in an explosion.
Why did they blow up Schroeder?
Schroeder was black as soot. His piano was destroyed, and the piano keys were sticking out of his mouth. Good.
Goddamn Looney Tunes explosion.
Good grief, what just happened? Asked Schroeder. Then Schroeder heard somebody behind him laughing in the tune of the opening notes of Beethoven's Symphony No. 5.
Laughing in that?
Yeah, laughing in the tune of the opening notes.
Ha 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 ha.
He'd slowly turned around, and the last thing he saw was a black fist coming right at him.
Bang, Schroeder's dead.
He blew up his piano.
He blew up Schroeder. And then punched him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what?
Franklin, a kid who goes to the same school as Peppermint Patty and Marcy, was on his way home. He was unaware that the two girls were recently kidnapped.
This is like a damn 80s horror movie.
Franklin, the one black kid. He was wandering down the streets when he saw the police and some police cars outside of Schroeder's house. There was also a hole in one of the walls. He approached one of the cops. "What happened here, officer?" asked Franklin.
Pulling on their sleeve. Excuse me, sir, what happened here?
Friend died, kid.
Said the cop. "Schroeder's kidnapped. Who did this?" asked Franklin. Said the cop. "I see. No witnesses," said Franklin.
I see.
And he left the area. As Franklin was walking farther, he saw Charlie Brown standing in front of him. He had a smug grin, and his symbiote was posing as a black version of his zigzag shirt. The zigzag itself was white. "Charlie Brown, what are you doing here?" "Sally said you ran away," said Franklin. "I did, but now I'm back," said Charlie Brown. The symbiote's influence made Charlie Brown's voice sound meaner, and then he transformed into Payback. "Back with vengeance," said Payback.
He just gave himself away.
He really did. Screamed Franklin. He tried to run with Payback. But Payback used some webbing to tie up his legs. Franklin fell to the ground. Payback began to pull Franklin towards him. Franklin dug his fingers in the pavement, but it was no use. Then Payback grabbed Franklin by the shirt. "We got big plans for you and our so-called friends," snarled Payback.
Wait, how much later is this? Are the cops across the street and this is happening? This was pretty direct.
All cops are bastards. Charlie Brown.
Wah, 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 wah.
"Charlie Brown, what's gone into you?" cried Franklin. "There is no more Charlie Brown. There is only Payback," snarled Payback, and then he fired webbing at his eyes.
Why did he do that?
What did Franklin do?
They're all horrible. They're all trying to kill him.
He shot Franklin in the eyes and left.
No, I'm pretty sure he's taking him with him.
After kidnapping Franklin, Payback began to think about who to get revenge on next.
I think at this point you're not really getting revenge if you're thinking about it that hard. Who should I revenge next?
Hopefully Lucy.
Then he got an idea and transformed back to his normal self. "I got it. I'll get even with the kite-eating tree," said Charlie Brown.
Cut down a tree.
Of all the things.
Why not Lucy? Why are you going for the kite-eating tree before your actual bully?
He's saving the best for last.
Still
The bully's
scared.
too strong.
He's still scared of her.
He knows she has a symbiote of her own. The kite always falls to the... He decided to fly his kite. He's never been able to fly a kite successfully. The kite always falls to the ground, and sometimes he, along with any other unfortunate victims, get tangled in the strings. But the worst thing that happens is that sometimes kites keep getting devoured by the kite-eating tree. As Charlie Brown was running, his kite fell into the kite-eating tree's mouth. Immediately after that, it began to devour it. The tree then grinned a toothy grin and laughed at Charlie Brown. Laugh while you still can, green boy. You'll get your just desserts soon, said Charlie Brown.
He had to make him wrong him so he could deliver payback.
And then the kite-eating tree bit something, which resulted in a small explosion.
Where is he getting all these explosives from?
Charlie Brown had booby-trapped the kite with firecrackers.
Oh.
The explosion was enough to blow off most of the leaves, but not enough to set the tree on fire. The only leaves left were the ones around its mouth. In addition, the explosion caused the kites that the tree ate to fall off. All the kids who had kites that were eaten cheered and reclaimed their kites. Most of the kites belonged to Charlie Brown. Oh, nuts, said the tree. Take that, you kite-eating tree, said Charlie Brown, grinning a toothy grin. That's it for now.
This story is crazy.
I rate that an ever-growing revenge list that has no end out of 10.
I rate that one horribly manipulative bitch.
I rate that 1,000-yard stare of a high schooler looking over the elementary school football field, grimacing.
Eddie Brock's a grown man.
Right.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just because Topher Grace played him in the movie.
I think of him as the same age as Peter when he's still in high school.
Peter's only in high school in the first movie.
It's true.
He does have that boyish charm, though. Are you gonna take us home with a story that tops even those two?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, big words.
Chapter 1. The What Fairy?
Oh.
A brunette 21-year-old sighed as he was in an empty apartment that had nothing but a couch, dresser, and a fridge in it, wearing black sleeveless vest over a white shirt and glasses. His name was Peter Benjamin Parker, or if you knew him from school as a blonde, stereotypical football jock, you would call him Puny Parker, the science geek. But if you knew him in the hero community when he wore a different look, people would call him Spiderman. Peter snorted as the image of his red and blue skin-tight outfit came to his mind as he looked at the dresser where he had it placed. He used to love being Spider-Man, a hero to everyone in New York, despite how people just thought he was a menace due to a certain newspaper publicist. For 6 years, he spent his life helping people, and he did some great things in his life so far. As Spider-Man, he took on all kinds of criminals, ranging from the mobsters alongside the Defenders, a group of street-fighting superheroes to defend the world alongside the Fantastic Four and Avengers, 2 different teams that protect the world from cosmic-powered beings, and the occasional madman trying to rule the world, cough, doom, cough. But as Peter Parker, he wasn't accomplished. Barely graduated high school because being Spider-Man ate so much of his time up. People thought he was a scrawny wimp because he didn't want to accidentally hurt people with his powers due to being stronger than the average human. And he had a job at the Daily Bugle to take pictures of himself as Spider-Man for the guy who tarnishes his reputation that makes the police shoot him on sight. He only did 1 year of college due to how much money the Parker family had, and he was beginning to think he got the hang of balancing being both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He actually got a stable relationship with a girl named Gwen Stacy, and found great friends in Harry Osborn and the Mary Jane Watson, and thought things were going great before Gwen's father, who was chief of police, was killed in a fight between him and one of his enemies.
Oh, God. That one really hit you.
I was trying to finish the sentence, but I couldn't. So Gwen's dad died because Dr. Octavius, leaving Gwen to have a deep resentment of his hero ego. It only got worse when one of his enemies, the Green Goblin, found out who he was and kidnapped Gwen before tossing her off a bridge.
In an act of desperation, Spider-Man tried to save her by shooting a web strand from a wrist-mounted device he created called web shooters, but the force of the stop snapped Gwen's neck. So in truth, Gwen died, by his hands, nearly breaking the hero as he snapped when Goblin taunted him about that and proceeded to beat the ever-living shit out of him before the man tried to kill him with his own glider, but it malfunctioned and he impaled himself by accident.
A big mishmash of all the movies.
We're just quickly going over his entire life story.
There's Gwen Stacy with his web outreach hand, but then it's Norman Osborn, or it's Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin. Godspeed, Spider-Man.
I prefer that over the one they had for sure.
Getting his dick glidered.
That was when Spider-Man found out that the Goblin was Norman Osborn, the father of Harry Osborn, who swore to get Spider-Man back for the death of his father. So his girlfriend was dead, his best friend hated his hero half, and his other best friend Mary Jane became distant due to a modeling career, and Peter was thinking it couldn't possibly get any worse in his depression. He was so very wrong. His Aunt May, the only family he had left, began to get sick a few months later, and that was when he discovered she had cancer. In panic, Spider-Man went to every doctor he knew, whether it was doctors of science like Reed Richards, Bruce Banner, and Donald Blake, or doctors of sorcery like Stephen Strange. He found no help except for sympathy. Hell, he even went to criminals like Dr. Doom, Octavius, who was easily figured out who he was, and Loki, and found neither help or sympathy. There's no like commas or anything. When May died, she actually revealed she knew about Peter's double life and said Uncle Ben would have been so proud. Yeah, Peter thought sadly. Proud of what? The young man who can barely keep the people closest to him safe? The man who killed his own girlfriend? The man who lost all of New York? Wants to lynch? And her death. Peter was in major debt with the bills, but he was saved because of the life insurance money his aunt put out for him. Out of debt, Peter sold the house he was raised in and everything in it to move out of New York. He got on a bus and left without looking back. He gave the Avengers back the ID card that showed his membership, and left despite a worried Captain America trying to ask if he was all right. He didn't tell the other heroes he was leaving. After hours of being on the bus, he made it to a place called Honey City. Weird name, but the apartment was cheap, so he took it. What am I gonna do? Peter murmured, looking up at the ceiling of the fan, slowly rotated.
Yeah, I saw this one.
In hindsight, it was stupid to go to a random city he knew nothing about without a plan, but he didn't care. It's water. No periods or commas.
Yeah, I know. I'm used to that.
Hell, he nearly forgot that today was the day he did turn 21. If it wasn't for the text he got from Harry wishing him one, and asking if he found a place yet.
Wishing him one.
He didn't respond to it because he didn't want to make Harry's life worse than he already did. Looking at the time to see it was only 7, Peter sighed. Well, I'm legally an adult, he said, deciding that maybe he could get a drink to drown out his sorrow. There's a paragraph cut. Peter frowned as he had 2 empty bottles in front of him, and the third one in his hand at the local Honey City bar. He felt nothing. The alcohol burned his throat on the first sip, but that was it. No buzz. Can he even get drunk?
Poor guy.
Well, I got woozy from certain stuff, Peter thought, remembering how Craven drugged him quite a few times to hunt him down like an animal. But come on, this is ridiculous.
Come on, barkeep. Don't you got anything stronger?
He yells at the barkeep like that. He looked to this. Oh, come on, barkeep.
Damn it.
He looked side to side to see various people talking, and he saw some couples making his heart ache as he remembered how Gwen laughed and how she smiled. It's been a year since Gwen died. Maybe he should go back out there and try to talk with someone. Hey there. Peter blinked as he turned to see a beautiful young lady with chocolate brown hair and green eyes, wearing a revealing red dress that had a bunch of ribbons, and he couldn't help but stare. When he was thinking about going out there and talking with someone, he didn't expect it to happen this soon. A hand waved in front of him. Anyone home? The lady asked with an amused smile. I didn't break you, did I? Peter's brain finally rebooted. Who, me?
he asked in shock. The lady rolled her eyes.
Who, me?
Yes, you, she said with the amused smile. The name's Q. What's your name? Peter Parker, Peter said, wondering what was wrong with him. It was like he couldn't think straight. Maybe the alcohol was finally taking effect. You okay? You look like you're having trouble holding it in there. What? No, I'm chill, Peter said, trying to figure out what he was going to do.
He's chill.
Who was she? He never really spoke to another girl as Peter after Gwen's death, so he didn't know how to react. As Spider-Man, he would crack jokes and possibly annoy the hell out of them, but as Peter Parker, he was lost. Psh, that's a fat load of shit and you know it, Q said, not losing her smile. Well, it's just that you're so pretty and stuff. The words left Peter's mouth before he realized what he said. Oh God, did you just say that? Q asked, giggling.
He doesn't realize he's an NPC now.
Is this really happening?
Someone else is making his decisions for him.
Peter winced. Smooth, he thought, shaking his head. Maybe it was still too soon to think about dating. Well,
the exact dialogue in the intro.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I already embarrassed myself enough for tonight, Peter said, finishing the last bottle of beer as he put the money on the table. I'll just leave before it gets more awkward. Peter went to get up, only for Q to grab his arm. Wait, you know what? This might actually work, Q said with a thoughtful look as she grinned. Yeah, oh man, today is your lucky day, buddy. Wait, what? Peter asked, completely lost.
Wait, what?
Listen, I gotta go, but we'll meet again real soon. Oh wait, that was Q. Listen, I gotta go, but we'll meet again real soon, trust me, Q said as she got up and left, causing Peter to turn towards her as she put an extra sway in her hips, knowing he was watching. Night. Peter blinked as he looked away from her to the bartender. Did that just happen? He asked in confusion as the bartender gave a shrug.
Steven, do you know what this is?
See, this is Catherine, right?
No.
Oh, what is it?
It's Honey Pop.
Oh, okay.
The greatest dating sim of all.
Yeah.
The game I have beat twice and several of my friends have beaten also on my computer. Strange things happen in Honey City, the old man said as he fingered his sunglasses. You'll get used to them. I suppose so. Thanks. Peter looked at the name tag. Stan. Stan gave a nod as Peter left. Nice guy, he said as he got back to wiping the counter. Page cut. Peter felt like he just fell asleep on the couch when he heard a familiar voice around 2 a.m. Hey you, rise and shine. We have work to do. Oh God, is this where you actually live? Thinking he was still asleep, Peter ignored the person.
Damn, bitch, you live like this?
I said, get up! 5 more minutes, Peter muttered.
It's 2 a.m. I just got home.
Peter felt someone grabbing his wrist, and that was when he reacted, kicking forward, causing someone to cry out in surprise as he instinctively jumped up, landing on the ceiling, ready to fight before he blinked. Staring at him in astonishment was a girl who had pink hair pulled into pigtails, wearing a pink and white baby doll with light pink panties showing.
Cat just knocked down your soundproofing and left.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm sure it's fine. You are always so snotty.
I don't know what happened between now and the other 2 stories I was listening to.
We need to get a sponsorship with Mucinex so we can all have clear throats every time we record. I know you're listening, Mucinex man.
I love crossing the line.
She's wearing pink panties, baby doll, light panties, but what confused him was the butterfly wings on her back. Her green eyes and face did look familiar. Get up. I'm definitely still dreaming, Peter muttered as he dropped from the ceiling. Back onto the couch.
On the ceiling?
He got up and jumped to the ceiling and did a Spider-Man pose.
Oh, yeah. That's really funny.
How did you... The girl said, and that was when Peter recognized her voice. Wait, Q? Peter asked in surprise. What are you doing in my room? I thought you were a brunette.
I thought you were a brunette.
Oh,
and
this?
also people.
I can change my look whenever I want, Q said, giving a twirl as she was floating due to her wings. It's what comes with being a love fairy.
That's it. I learned my lesson, Peter said, resting a hand to his face. Stay away from alcohol. You can wake me up now. I can't, because this is totally happening, Q said in a teasing voice. So, are you a meta or a mutant? I don't know. Peter tried to lie as Q gave him a deadpan look. I just saw you stick to the ceiling, Q said before grinning. Oh well, we'll come to that later. It's time to do what love fairies do best. Love fairy? Peter shook his head and looked Q straight in the eyes.
I love your Peter Parker voice.
What exactly is a love fairy?
If I ever do a Spider-Man cartoon, I definitely want you to be Peter Parker.
Good question. I'm glad you asked, Q said with her usual smile that was slowly becoming familiar to Peter.
Usual.
You see, a love fairy, it's my job to help poor saps like you out with ladies. It's just what I do. Oh no, Peter said as he saw where this was going. Oh yes, Q teased. Now I don't like to brag, but I'll have you know that I had a very impressive track record. All of my previous clients are basically walking babe magnets now. You, though, let's just say you will be my greatest accomplishment yet. Hold up, what's in it for you? Peter asked, suspiciously wondering if she was working for one of the supernatural criminals he helped Strange fight, or maybe she worked for Loki to get revenge on him for interfering with the trickster god's plan to kill Thor. Man, what's with all these questions? Q asked, a little annoyed. Can't a fairy just help a brother out? We need to get started right away. Tell me how many dates you've been on. That question caused Peter to think back on Gwen, and it was like the wound was reopened as he looked down. Q gave a start at seeing the sorrow in his eyes as she frowned. I'm guessing he either broke up with a girl recently or something bad happened, he thought before speaking. Well, we'll come back to that one later. Look. Peter started looking away. It's late. I just want to sleep because I have a college to register into tomorrow, so can you please leave? He didn't let her answer as she just laid back down and closed his eyes. He didn't let her answer as he just laid back down and closed his eyes. Hugh just stared, a little annoyed by how he was practically throwing away a chance of a lifetime here. Fine, see you tomorrow, she said, turning away. She had a perfect track record with her clients, and she wasn't going to fail now. Just you wait, Peter Parker. Q is going to find you a date. End of Chapter 1.
Wow, incredible.
Chapter 2.
Peter Parker is gonna be so horny after this.
Peter yawned as he woke up. Man, what a crazy dream, he muttered before Q floated upside down on his face. Good morning, Q greeted him with a smile, causing Peter to cry as he fell off the couch. Ah! Wow, jumpy much. You're real? Q laughed. Oh, I know. How can something as cute as me be real, right? She asked, earning a look. But anyways, it's time to get started, so let's get out there and talk some broads. Hold up, I didn't agree to this whole matchmaking ploy you have going on here, Peter said, a bit annoyed. Plus, I need to register for the upcoming semester at college. College, huh? Q grinned. Nice choice to pick up some chicks, rookie. Peter stared at her before pinching his nose. In frustration.
Berwick?
Rookie.
Oh, rookie, not Ricky Berwick.
Peter stared at her and pinched his nose in annoyance. He was going to ignore her. It didn't take long to reach the college campus as he stood outside the building with a flyer. All right, just go and get registered, Peter told himself. Then worry about a part-time job to pay for it as well as the bills. He was about to go in before he stopped and stared. The reason was he saw a blonde-haired young woman with blue eyes reminding him painfully of Gwen. Except her hair was in pigtails, just like Q's, tied with red ribbons.
Jesus Christ.
As she wore a white school shirt and short red skirt. She was talking to another woman with dark hair and gray eyes, wearing a loose... This is literally the first interaction of Honey Pop when you go to school.
Tiffany and Aiko.
Jesus.
Oh, they're talking... Ah, Miss Yumi, I'm glad I ran into you, the blonde said with a smile. Have you had a chance to grade our exams yet? Remind me what those are on again? Miss Yumi asked, looking like her mind was somewhere else. You know, the conservative one of whatever you call it, the blonde said as Miss Yumi gave a nod. Oh, yeah, I think those are on my desk, Miss Yumi said, somewhere. Okay, the blonde looked nervous. Do you know when you could get them back to us? Later this week, probably, Miss Yumi said with a small smile. I'm sure you did fine, Tiffany. You think? I hope so, Tiffany said, looking away. I don't know, I was having trouble with some of the material. Do you know what we're going to go over next week? I want to try to get a head start with the new semester starts. Next week? I don't know yet.
Miss Yumi apologized. Actually, I have a pounding headache. Can we do this later, please? Tiffany smiled sheepishly. Yeah, okay, sorry to bother you, Miss Yumi. No, it's fine. I'll talk to you later, Miss Yumi said as she turned to leave. Wow, is this chick serious? Q asked, flying up, shocking Peter as he quickly looked around to see if anyone was watching. No one was batting an eye at the fairy next to him. That schoolgirl uniform is a little on the nose, don't you think? She's cute blonde, too. Bonus points. Yeah, Peter said, looking away.
I can't believe Peter gave up Spider-Man for this.
This is your classic girl next door situation. She's so nice, don't do anything to scare her off, Q advised, getting started on the job. But don't be afraid to take a chance. Why isn't anyone seeing you flying? Peter asked, looking around. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. Nobody can see or hear me, Q asked with a smirk. After all, I'm just a figment of your imagination. Plot twist. So
you can go back there and start playing Honey Pop. You need to get educated.
So I am insane, Peter asked, hanging his head.
I just imagine like you're reading the story and then every now you hear like, whoa, like in the back, really far in the background. Whoa! Alright!
Sound effects.
Just all the fucking puzzle solving sound effects.
Q laughed. Nah, I'm crazy real. I just hide myself so I can give you advice on the sideline, she told him, laughing at his face. This chick is clearly out of your leagues, but there might be some hope. I don't care about that, Peter muttered, not wanting to listen to any of her at this moment as Tiffany was heading to walk past him. I'm just gonna... Peter stopped as a buzzing in his head went off before Q shoved him so hard that he stumbled as he nearly bumped into Tiffany, accidentally knocking her books down.
Spider sense warned of Q.
Gonna cry? Sorry, Peter apologized, wanting to glare at Q for that as he helped Tiffany pick the books up. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. No, it's fine, Tiffany said, as not sounding too annoyed, as Peter stood up, handing her back her stuff. Thanks. Wait, I've never seen you around here before. Oh, wait, that's her. Thanks. Wait, I've never seen you around here before. Are you new? Depends on if my application is accepted, Peter said to be nice. Do you know where Wade the Students' Union? Sure do. I know this place inside and out, Tiffany asked with a smile. You go past this building here and take a left to the fountain. You can't miss it. Thank you, and sorry if I'm holding you up from class, Peter said, wanting to get out of there because she was reminding him so much of Gwen that it was scary. No, don't worry about it. My classes are all done now, Tiffany said before holding her hand out. My name is Tiffany, by the way. It's nice to meet you. I'm Peter, Peter said, accepting the handshake before Tiffany walked up, but the blonde smiled at him. Or walked off. You seem like a cool guy, so I hope I see you around campus, Tiffany said before she left. Q took that moment to cheer. No way, you did it! With my help, of course, she said before tossing a phone to Peter. I nearly forgot to give you this honeybee this morning. The what? Peter asked, looking at the phone. It's an essential lifeline for any player on the go. Player? Peter said, not sure about that.
Peter Player.
It automatically registers info of new girls you meet and can even track their location, Q said as Peter was now giving her a disgusted look. So basically the perfect tool for stalkers, Peter said, slipping into his Spidey persona without realizing it. Wait, slipping into his Spidey persona? Why did he say that about stalkers and then slip into his Spidey persona?
It's because he's sarcastic and epic.
Oh, okay.
He's not supposed to have personality when he's Peter Parker. He's supposed to be sad.
Can I order takeout on this too, or is it like the ID card Stark gave me? Q blinked. Did you just crack a joke? Now Peter was staring. Q, you obviously don't know who I am, he said, deciding to pocket the honeybee because it was better he had kept it than somebody like, say, Deadpool.
Q blinked for the first time.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Q asked in annoyance as she flew after him into school. Okay, that's probably enough. It just goes on indefinitely.
It's just Honey Pop.
It's just Honey Pop.
I rate that 10 out of 10 because I love Honey Pop. Can't wait for Honey Pop 2.
It's so hard to do 3 girl voices.
You were really giving it your all.
Especially because Q has the same kind of inflection that I tried to give Peter, so I kept getting them mixed up.
Rated 3 successful dates.
I race it.
You thinking about the racers outside?
You can literally hear their bass boosted cars from here. But no, I rate it release Honey Pop 2 already. I want it.
At Honey Pop.
At Honey Dev. At Honey
At
Pop
Honey
Dev.
Dev. Whatever. Honey Pop Dev. At Honey Pop.
I'll look it up.
We're coming for you. We want to get that. We want to get that sponsorship.
At Honey Pot Dev.
At Honey Pot Dev.
Honey pot.
Steven, can you get us a sponsorship with Honey Pot?
I can try.
Thanks. Make sure you at them later.
Okay.
Steven, can you redo the art so it looks better for Honey Pot 2?
Very well.
It's fine.
I just like the old style a lot.
Yeah, whoever did the art in the first game was fantastic. Honeycomb Studio, it's stylized, but it doesn't work for that kind of thing, that overly sexualized thing.
I 100%ed Honey Pot Studio and got every Honey Cam Studio and got every achievement, and it wasn't worth my time.
Okay, that's another one in the books, gentlemen. We did it.
Another
Incredible.
Spider and the Man.
Join our new Discord.
We have a Discord link on our Twitter. We have Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, as we just said. We're going places. We really are.
Indeed.
Yeah, hang out with us on Discord. We will do more there, perhaps.
Shout out some good friends on Discord. Like we got Faux Fiend and we got a Torpedo Pickle. Avi and Just Sagan have been long-lasting fans, so we super gotta appreciate those guys.
Samurai Whack.
Samurai Whack is very funny.
Indeed.
Cringies. Cringies is super cool. Who else has we got? There's lots of them. Oh, there's that picture of Thunderpants again. We talk about Thunderpants. Beanyot. Beanyot's there too.
Faux Friend.
I already said Faux Friend, but okay.
Pretzel Sticks.
Pretzel Sticks. There's lots of you fellas. So thanks for chatting with us, and we're always excited to get more people up in there. So check that out.
Yeah, peace. Good night. Thank you, everybody.
No. Ask me what the next topic's gonna be.
Oh yeah, what's the next topic gonna be?
I looked it up, and I was very happy that there's an actual significant amount of story or crossover stories with this one. So in the next episode, I want to do Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah. Long time coming.
Indeed.
Gonna watch some Jackie Chan Adventures in preparation.
At long last, some Jackie Chan YouTube poops.
Bolted to the floor.
Robotnik falls to the floor, and then Jackie Chan shakes his hand and goes, "Ah!" Yeah, there's almost like 200 crossovers, which is incredible. I assumed that one had already been lost to time when fanfiction got popular, so it was very exciting for me. Anyway, that's going to be the next episode, so get ready for that, and thanks for listening. Share it with your friends. We're doing all sorts of epic stuff, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Steven, say something.
Yeah, what are you working on right now?
Let's see here. Comics and the butts and the boobs, the usual for the most part.
G-Pool just graduated college, so what are you working on, if anything?
What he said.
Alright.
I await the smut.
Perhaps I'll restart my vlog series now that I have to go to Texas.
You're going to Texas for cool things and such.
I'm going to Texas for trans rights.
There
Okay.
we go. Find a Texas Wawa.
I'll go to Buc-ee's and get a big funny beaver plush.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get you some beaver nuts.
Yes, please. Give me an actual real beaver.
Look forward to Virgil Vlogs, big Texas vlog. Everything's bigger in vlogs.
I've been to Texas like 4 times, but this will be the big one.
Everything's bigger the 5th time.
Yeah.
Okay, play us out with the funny song, editor.
Quick freestyle over the song that's playing. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever Spider-Man can.
Show you how to scratch it.
Yeah! How does Scratch Man Apu sound?
Music scratch. And then Kizaru goes, coin. He gets his hand blown off. Okay, incredible. We should have watched the Toei Spider-Man before this. That would have been fun.
True.
Bye.